There we go.
I was going back and forth
With who?
between
Boys, Jodeci?
the Jodeci album and the Boys to Men. Both of their debut albums came out within like a month of each other. I remember this. They was both hot at the same time. Two completely different types of R&B. Two complete. Jodeci was the thugged out R&B. Boys to Men, smooth dudes that they cool in your high school.
They didn't get smooth. They didn't get smooth until like their second or third album though.
Nah.
Because they were little kids on the first album.
Here's the thing, though.
Motown Philly was.
Yeah, those were the pop songs. They had on the bow ties with the shorts and the jackets.
But
it was killing. That was the Alex Vanderpool era.
Yo.
And then Jodeci looked like the dudes waiting for you after school.
Wait, they like the dudes they look like the dudes that are singing to you while they beating your ass. Who is that?
Listen, they almost look like the dudes that didn't want to let nobody know that they was a singing group.
Oh,
hard as hell.
Oh, yo.
These dudes walking around with the sagging jeans on, boots, the whole nine, but after school, it's the Glee Club. You see what I'm saying? Man, those albums.
Y'all those Ouye dudes. Is that what y'all doing right now? So y'all Ouye
dudes.
Y'all woo now?
I'm around here with that woo.
Yo, are they the originators of woo woo woo? I think we found the origin of woo woo woo. I need to hit up Eddie Bryant and find out. Eddie Bryant, if you're watching this, if you ever get a chance to watch this, text me and let me know if Boys to Men, Jodeci was the originators of woo woo woo.
Woo woo woo. The woo 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 era.
I didn't even know. Like, I'm still trying to figure out. I know what this is. I know what that is. You know what this is. Somebody say, "Have you looked at this? Have you looked at, take a look at that?" You know what they talking about, right? Look at this and look at that. What is the third? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what exactly is the third? And the third,
I think the third is almost like the kitchen sink. They covering everything. You doing this, that, and the third. You do it too much. He was out there doing this, that, and the third. That's like throwing everything at you but the kitchen sink.
But I've heard people say we were talking about this, that, and the third. So is that everything? We talking about everything?
They was covering everything. What was y'all talking about? We was talking about this, that, and the third. You know.
I'm still trying to figure out what the third is.
The turd.
The turd. I was thinking, like, how would the West Indians say that? How do West Indians say?
Depending on who you rolling with, it's not in the turd.
In the turd. You did what? The turd. You want some tissue?
Out there talking this, that, and the turd. Got my door open.
Talking about this, that, and the turd. Bumbleclot.
Get your ass in here. Stay outside talking this, that, and the turd.
Ragamuffin.
Get your ass in here. Talking this, that, and the turd. There it is. What's going on, Corey Manning?
I can't call it, man. I'm out here doing the damn thing like I'm supposed to be doing it, trying to stay alive.
It is, man.
Yeah, trying to stay alive. Let me turn this down. I'm trying to this is what I hate, man. I'm trying to adjust my sound, but it's connected to my laptop.
These first 10 to 12 editions of the unTopical podcast are basically what you call it, sound check.
Yes.
These are all dry runs.
Very dry. We're talking about no lube at all. Okay, I'm not. See,
everything.
I could have went somewhere else with that, but I'm trying to refrain myself. But yeah, man, I'm good, man. I just got back. I was in Chicago yesterday, doing a training, And I'm still running on E because I'm still trying to catch up from my LA trip about 2 weeks ago. So I'm
I don't
still
know
trying
how
to
you
get
do it.
over
You
that.
went West Coast, Midwest. You're all jammed up, man. I hope this weekend is a holiday weekend. I hope you are planning to just.
I'm going to visit fam in DC. I just talked to my brother today. He having a little cookout at his crib, so I'm coming down there to
Y'all gonna have to send me a plate. I
network.
just.
Yeah.
You can't. I can't. Listen. Traveling is exhausting. I think we've talked about this before. I don't think people understand traveling, and I'm gonna say it. At your age,
Oh yeah, it needs
it's
to
a
be
whole
said.
lot more tiring. It's a
It need,
whole lot more tiring.
shout out to Marlene that's in the building. She's up in here. She was chilling, watching us.
Hey, if you coming on to watch the pod, you have to drop your age in the comments.
Because otherwise we don't know we don't know what topics untopical topics to cover. Because we got what we need to define and what we don't need to define is dependent on your age up in this piece.
Yeah. Today we might drift off into ageism a little bit, but it needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
It damn sure needs to be talked about. Yeah, it's not. We are no longer at an age where travel is this. You can just jump out there and do it. Is it you remember you could just jump out and do a 4-hour round trip.
Yo,
ain't no problem. Drinking
back in my early days, good. In the 2000s when I first moved to Boston, and my son was living in North Carolina, I go down to visit. I would easily hop on the road and be on the road. That's a 12-hour drive, 13-hour drive, one way. I would do that at least once a month.
and then you start playing with it. Then you start playing with it like, yeah, I could jump. I'm gonna jump on the road about midnight. I'm good. I don't need to sleep today.
No traffic out there. I'll be good.
There's no traffic. I'm gonna leave about 11:30. Get there. I'm good.
Here we go. I'm gonna leave right after my show. I'm gonna do my show. Get off stage. Hop on the road. You know what I'm saying? Make some laughs. Make a couple of dollars. Make some gas money. Boom. I'm out.
That's when you realize that comedy's work. That's when you realize that comedy is work.
When you start working for gas.
But no, I'm saying you do 30 to 40 on stage, and the whole process of getting there during the day, you just put in some work. I need to go sit in the green room for a minute.
Yeah.
I just put in some work, and then you're talking about I'm gonna jump in the car and do 6 to I'm gonna do 6 to 12 hours on the road. Nah,
it ain't happening today.
Listen, I understand younger comedians do it, right? Because you're putting in that time.
Right.
Maybe you make a round trip to New York for 10 minutes.
I remember Nate Jackson and some other comedians were touring, doing their own tour.
I remember.
I think one of them bought a car, and they all jumped in the car, and they went across the country booking shows. And said they were doing the tour. I think it was New Jack Comics is what they called themselves. God, I know. I got a picture of every one of them in my head. One of them, my girl in Houston, who's doing big things. Huh?
No, you talking about. Oh man, I was just looking at her page the other day.
I was too. She got her own line of shows up. We'll post it later. We'll post it in the chat.
Yeah.
My man who he was a part of the Bay Area Black Comedy Festival. He was one of the panelists, and probably right now has over probably about 2 million views on or followers on social media avenues. And he was in a commercial. I forgot what commercial he was on, but God, I just saw him. I saw him do a clip on Chocolate Sundays that was on YouTube. God, what's my man's name? He did this joke about taking your shirt off. You can't take your shirt off for your arms. You got when you slim, you can take your shirt off like this. You grab the bottom and pull it up. Oh, he's hilarious. Hilarious. But anyway, they were doing a road tour, and they flipped the car.
Yep. They bought a brand new car. I remember he told me they bought like a new Malibu or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Flipped it. So yeah, I don't do that. And I was telling the missus, I was like, we were gonna leave tonight after I did my class. She said, "Oh no."
Cause you know what it is? You'll feel good for the first 45 minutes, that first hour, you're feeling good.
But
listen, man,
as soon as you hit Connecticut,
them eyelids get heavy. It's one thing fighting the heavy eyelids. When you start fighting the head nod, pull over. It's over. It's over.
And the
it's
worst
gonna
thing,
get you. It's gonna get you.
And the worst thing you can do is say you're gonna be the start driver, and 45 minutes in, ask somebody else to drive.
Y'all ready to switch? Who ready to jump? Who ready to jump on and grab the wheel? You ready to switch? Y'all good?
And what makes it worse, though, I'm gonna admit it. I'm not a co-pilot. I'm not.
I'm taking my time to rest.
Yeah.
For my next time.
Yeah. If I'm not driving, I'm sleeping. That's it. I'm not gonna even try to front on you.
Now look, I'm gonna tell you the last time I did it, right? And I did it. I did like 6.5 hours both ways.
Yep.
But I did it because I was in the car with somebody I didn't know, and they didn't make me feel comfortable that I would be comfortable enough to get in the passenger seat and just knock out. I just wasn't feeling it.
Let me clarify. Let me allow you to clarify something for those who might have just tuned in. You did 6.5 hours going both ways with somebody you did not know.
You know what? Fuck you. I did a 6.5 hour drive both ways. Which like,
are you trying to say round trip?
Round trip. Round trip. No, I do not go both ways. I drove round trip. People like you, it's people like you is the reason that podcasts never take off.
No, I'm just saying. I don't want nobody to tune in at that clip and you're like, yo, I did 6.5 hours with somebody I didn't even know both ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not a good look for my man.
This is how they do you, people. This is exactly how they do you. My father was one that we had to take the keys. We had to take the keys. My father was of that generation. He wasn't about to admit that he couldn't drive anymore and that he could do like long road trips. When you were a kid, you know, I used to hop in with my father like straight through to South Carolina, from Boston to South Carolina, straight through. I had no concept how far it was or whatever, but I know my pops was going straight through with it. He was just the pilot.
Now,
After I got older, man, I took a road trip with my father. About 25 minutes in, man, I saw his eyelids drooping. I was like, Dad, I got it.
Let me ask you, when you say take the keys, are you talking about road trips or are you talking about take the keys like he shouldn't be driving anymore?
So both of them happened. So the last road trip, I think we went down to like Virginia or something for a family reunion. But then it got to the point in his life where it was like, you got to take the keys.
Let me ask you a question.
He wasn't ready to put the keys down. Let
me ask you a question. Have you had those moments when you're like, oh my God, am I going to be that guy?
Am I going to turn into the guy that somebody got to take my keys?
Yes. Have you ever had those moments? I'm gonna give you your first sign. Your first sign is going in the store and coming out and looking around like, damn, where I park? Damn. What?
Listen, when you walk out and hold your starter up,
and everybody looking at you.
All I'm thinking is, be quiet. I think I just heard it.
The worst thing, and I hope it never happens to me, is to have some young person come up to me and saying, "Sir, do you need some help?"
It just happened to me out at Rentham, out at the outlets. Bruh, it was about 90 degrees, and I was that guy. And here's the thing. I was trying to play it cool and act like I wasn't.
We always trying to play it cool. It just makes it worse.
Listen, I got my bags in my hands from the store, and I'm acting like I'm looking for a particular store when I'm looking straight out into that ocean of cars, and I'm trying to remember when I got out of the car and walked up, what store did I walk up in front of?
Right.
And that would tell me where it was. I was like, how did I do this to myself?
No.
I threw my hands. I was the dude out in the parking lot walking between cars.
Let me tell
That's
you
how
this
you know you're done. When you're walking between cars.
Let me tell you this one. This is I'm gonna tell you this to tell you this. I traveled a lot doing comedy and doing my superhero work.
Of course.
When you go hotel to hotel, you forget what room you in. I've forgotten because I can't remember which hotel was I at. I was just in room 221. What room am I in now? That's one. Not only have I forgotten what hotel I was in, I've driven my squad to the wrong hotel. They like, where are you? We get to the hotel, it's like, well, where are you going? I was like, I put it in the GPS, man. I thought, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Let's yo, I told you that story to tell you this one. The worst part of it is, and I've learned now when I leave to take a picture where I park my car at the airport. Because it's nothing worse than being gone for 3 or 4 days or more. 2 days, hell, sometimes 1. And you get back to the airport, you're ready to go home, and you can't remember where you parked your vehicle.
Yeah, because the exhaustion adds to the delirium.
You got your bags with you. You trying to get out. You're trying to beat traffic. You're trying to get on the highway before the traffic really kicks in, depending on when you are. Or you're just trying to get home. It's late at night. Your plane got in late. It's already been delayed. You just barely made it back to Boston, and now you can't find your car. Dog, I've walked 2 levels looking for my car. Last time I thought because they have the images. They have like
Swan.
They got the Revere, and they got the Minutemen. Now the problem is, I thought I was on Minuteman. But I was on Revere because Paul Revere. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the Minutemen were on horses, but they're not on horses.
It's representing Paul Revere. You thought it was representing Paul Revere.
So I'm dude, and I got the thing up. I got the thing up and everything. Ain't hearing shit.
Maybe my battery's dead.
Yes. Where did I park? Did they tow my car? Like, that's the worst feeling in the world. Dude, but because of that experience, I've learned a couple of things. One, always try to park in the same spot at the airport. Always try to park in the same spot. 2, take a picture of where you park so you can at least refer to the picture.
The sign, the letter, or whatever it is.
With your phone. Yep. Don't write it down on paper. Don't that little card they give you to write it. Don't, because you're gonna lose that on the trip. That's gonna get lost. Let's just be honest.
You had yourself down. What I do with the ticket?
And the third thing to do, don't pay for your parking before you go to your car, because you're gonna be
nah. And you know what I found out about that? You have a certain amount of time after you pay to get to your car and exit.
Yes. That's why I don't pay.
I did not know that. Yo.
You fuck around and fuck around.
Paid, walked around that piece. By the time I got in the car, I got back to the thing, man. I put my ticket I put my ticket in the slot. That thing said $48. I was like, no, I prepaid. I prepaid. I slid that thing in there like 4 times. I had to call the attendant. But then he was like, yeah, you have 30 minutes to get out of the garage. What were you doing? Nah, just give me my ticket.
He knew what you was doing.
No, well, yeah, I know, but
He knew.
me the ticket. Stop. Give me the ticket.
Marlene says, she said that Providence Place Mall happens all day. She's saying people getting, losing their car, forget when they
That's
bought
outdoor
their car.
parking at Providence Place, right? Or is that covered park? I haven't been to Providence Place Mall in a minute. I remember, back when I used to get booked at the Comedy Connection, I used to remember I would
Shade.
I would pass the Providence Place Mall all the time. That whole area's changed, man.
I've been a couple
I don't
times.
I don't get down there no more.
Is that a business waiting to happen? You the person. It's like a valet service for those who've lost their vehicles.
Let me tell you this. That is not a terrible idea. Have you heard about Flip Flop Man?
Oh yeah, Flip Flop Man, killing them at the Beyonce concert. Killing them.
Had that idea about 15 years ago. And I'll tell you when it came to me. When I used to work at Nick's Comedy Stop down on Warrington Street. Remember getting out of Nick's and the nightclub people were out there? Mm-hmm. All the girls in heels standing around and everything. I was like, man, if somebody had a cart of flip-flops or just like I'll tell you how long ago it was. If flip-flops wasn't popular then, it was those Chinese slippers. You remember when those Chinese slippers were popular?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what you're talking about is when the girls would stand out there in what I used to call their catch a cold attire.
Yes.
Their catch a cold attire.
But if you had a cart full of just, roll up shoes or whatever.
Roll up shoes and a wrap.
Just have just a cart with everything on it. Umbrellas, wraps, the plastic ponchos. You remember
Condoms.
that night Taylor
I'm just saying.
I was just about to bring up the Taylor Swift concert, and you go and throw condoms out there. That's not right. But anyway.
I'm sorry. I'm not being inclusive. Dental dams.
You offending the Swifties. But there was a rainstorm that night. Can you imagine if there would have been a dude out there with a cart with umbrellas and ponchos?
Would have killed it.
He would have sold out. He wouldn't have had enough.
He would have had to up the price. He would have had to up the price because of the demand. He probably was out there selling like for $10 each.
Same way the airlines do it. And I just read the story. Did you ever hear what happened to you remember the dude at the beginning of the pandemic that brought up all the hand sanitizer? Oh. There was a guy who bought 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer.
I remember that.
So his ass got taken to court. He got sued by the state for price gouging. And he ended up cutting a deal with the state to just donate all of the hand sanitizer.
All the hand sanitizer he bought, he donated?
He had to donate it.
He didn't get any, so did he get his money back at least?
No.
Yo, come on.
That's talking about he just took the law. Yo, it was either that or jail time and a fine.
No, he had the wrong lawyer for that. You got to at least give him my money back or give me some kind of profit.
Now I see you one of them street lawyers, man. I ain't getting pulled over with you.
I'm saying though, come on, man.
Listen. Once they hem you up and you facing that jail time, and they give you that option, if they said 5 years and a $10,000 fine, or you donate all the products, what you gonna say?
They're not taking these people that's making medicine. They're not taking them to jail.
Did you just say people that make medicine?
Yeah, people make the drug dealers, not drug dealers, but the actual drug manufacturers.
This dude done compared drug manufacturers to a dude selling on Amazon Prime.
What's the,
What
yeah?
are you talking about?
Who's the bigger criminal, Chris? Who's the bigger?
What are you
This
talking
dude that spent $10,000 on an item that costs what, maybe $2 to $3 each, and he's selling them at
Listen,
$10,
first
or
of all,
the dudes that's selling like millions of pills
first,
that
first
cost
of all,
$1 make each, and they charge them
that's
$25.
that's apples to oranges. And if you want to go into court with that argument, it's like, I'm not the criminal, you're the criminal. What about all these drug manufacturers do? You would get 20 seconds into that speech before you be down and tased.
Yeah,
Put your hands behind your back, sir.
I didn't say it was an argument that would work in court. I'm just trying to make a point.
You gonna be on an episode of Martin trying to defend yourself. Your Honor, may I approach the bench, please?
I don't care what you say. That was a hot take. What I just gave you was a hot take. That was a hot take. That was my hot take moment.
Hot take. I totally understand what you're saying. The drug people are making they're making a fortune. And the problem is there's so many hands in it. It runs so deep it'll never be regulated.
And not only the drug dealers, at the educational system. With the cost of colleges,
that
really shouldn't cost that much.
I mean, that's it's basically pimping. It's pimping and a Ponzi, because the people at the top are making the money, and with the teachers and the educators down at the bottom, it's not balanced. It's not. They need to. The teachers should hire the lawyers that they have for pro athletes.
Agreed.
That they need agents is what they need.
I think K through 12. I think K through 12 teachers should make just as much, if not more, as your college teachers.
Well,
educators.
I feel like K through 12 might be G League, and then if you want to go to the pros. Because you have to have some sort of tiered system. I mean, I didn't go to college all these years to become a professor, and you teaching crayons and pasta. Wait a minute, hold on a second.
But just imagine
your kid comes home with ziti on a piece of yarn, and you talk about they should get paid the same amount as a college professor.
But just imagine the quality of education the kids in the U.S. would get if their teachers were paid, if the opportunity to make a great income in teaching was present.
Let me challenge you on that by saying, would teaching then become a hustle? Because you might have some folk in the system that are not delivering up to their salary.
But then
so I guess we'd have to retroactively go back, right? Because there's some teachers out there already burnt out,
right?
That have been in the system for, you've been teaching for 20 years,
right?
You're sick of these kids, basically, and now if they came to you and said, "All right, we're gonna up your salary to $150 a year," does your attitude change based upon the? You know what I'm saying? Now I got to put in another 20 years. Like I already did my 20. I've had books thrown at me. What? I need retro.
But I think also by putting the money into the teacher, it not only gives you opportunity to access a higher pedigree of teacher. Yeah, you're gonna get some rugrats gonna come in there just to make the money, but then you have a better. Former home daycare people get it.
Yeah,
but that gives you a better justification for increasing the quality, increasing the credits that you need to have in order to become a teacher.
Right. You're talking about at K through 12 school.
Right. And on top of that, now the teachers have the resources that they need to really teach the class because they have that extra income. A lot of teachers out here are going in their own pockets to get supplies.
Every day. Listen, I've come up with an answer for that.
Sleeping with the kids.
Would you like to hear it? See, just look at your screens. make sure we know who said that. Look at your screens,
I
people.
call that motivation. I call
Don't do it.
okay,
Don't do
I'm
it.
sorry. That's a
People
joke.
hate it.
I'm joking.
Don't do it.
I'm joking.
Check this out. What if it became cool or trendy for athletes to adopt schools? So let's say, for example,
That's
you
not
have an
limited.
athlete.
That's not limited to athletes.
No, well, hold on. I'm going to start with athletes because they have a lot of professional athletes have the cachet, right? And here's my system is what I'm saying. If you're playing for that team and you're not able to adopt a school until you've been with the team for at least 3 years, because it's not fair for someone to get traded to a team and the next season they're off. It doesn't work. But I mean you're more tenured when you sign a great contract, right? You say you sign a 7-year, right? How much would it? So you got athlete. Let's say athlete A is making $10 million a season, average salary. You could adopt a school for $100,000, meaning he's providing $100,000 to that school. And you and I both know how much $100,000 could help a school. Supplies and everything else, teachers aren't going in their pockets. Bigger athletes,
depending on who's running the school.
Depending on who's running the school, right? But in order to be in the program, your school got to be legit too. Yeah, because there was that story about a dude who I think he won a game show or something and took it and pocketed it. But so you got an athlete, and that's an athlete can adopt 5 schools in the area. Now he's $100,000 per school. It's a little more trendy. You also have the incentive of providing tickets to the games for test scores or achievement and things like that. It's all tax deductible, of course.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If LeBron James can build a school, you don't have to be LeBron to build it. But what's to say a guy, and I'm not even going to use a guy like Jaylen Brown because he would already do something like that. Yeah. But what's to say there's a dude on the bench making $5 million? He can't. This is my school over here.
Like Blake Griffin.
This is my school.
Right.
I go visit them. I could pop up or whatever. That gives pride to the students. You know what I'm saying? He's coming back after SATs or tests or whatever. There's a whole program that could be built around it. But I think you would have less inner city schools struggling if you had, you take the Patriots and the Celtics alone. I think that takes care of most of the schools in the city.
I'll take that even further. If you have, I will build on that. I think that's a great idea, a great concept. And I'm sure in some areas there's some athletes who are already entertainers or whatever that's already doing it. But I would actually add that as a stipulation in the contract agreement where a percentage of the money that the athlete gets needs to go to a local school. And in doing that automatically, one, that helps to brand that individual because they're partnering with that school. So that's that person's school, and they're going to the school doing other things in addition to them giving that money to be the face of the school. 2, it's a tax write-off that they'll have
for the athlete.
Yeah. For the athlete, for everybody. Actually, you think about it, for the people that's paying the athlete, for the athlete, and for the athlete's agent, because that's all encompassed in that payment, that percentage.
Right.
And also in addition to that, you have the young people that person is helping, as well as the teachers, and in turn the community by contributing to that. So I think that's a great idea. I think you should.
And you're talking about schools with no HVAC system. It's broken in the summer, broken in the winter. Mm-hmm. The stairs are broken going up. There's all these things that could be fixed because maybe the school has to submit their list of these are the items we're going to use the $100,000 for this year. Maybe it's computers, maybe it's new stairs, maybe it's to fix the gym. And all these things only lead to better students. I mean, better gym means better athletes, better chance for you to get drafted to a college. You build some stands or whatever it takes.
Better
But
food.
better food in the cafeteria. Now as a student, I'm sort of incentivized to go to school now.
Right.
The school's nice. I got a computer. I got great food. And Jaylen Brown might drop in today.
And I remember when my son was young, he was in middle school, he was in the band. I went down to North Carolina, speaking of driving, I drove down to North Carolina to see him play in the band. Drove down to North Carolina to see a junior high school kid play in the band. And the same night they were having band, they had their parent-teachers meeting, PTA meeting. So I sat in on that, which is an excellent idea because parents are going to be there anyway to see their child perform. What better way to get them engaged in the parent activity is to have the meeting on the same night.
Right.
So I automatically, I was like,
if you get there on time.
Right, if you get there on time. Automatically, I'm like, oh, well, this is a great idea. And they had some little food, and for those that indulge, they had a little drink. When I finish telling you, you'll know what kind of school my son was going to. They made an announcement that the treasurer checked in for the PTA and said, okay, we finished purchasing computers for all the students. All the students have a computer. What we need to figure out now is what we're going to do with the remaining $21,000.
We need to figure out what to do with the leftover 21 G's.
At this point, I said, yeah, my son's staying here. But that's...
Say no more. I'm re-enrolling.
And that's a public school.
Right.
That's not a charter school. That's not a private school. This was a public school. And it's all because of the neighborhood that he was in. The parents who were on that PTA were the ones that were giving back to the school where they could have that kind of loot to do those kind of things. So when you talk about someone contributing, one person, two people adopting the school to make it better, there you go. You talk about reparations? Like, that's where strategically reparations need to go.
Right. And it's it also speaks to that problem of, well, if you have a teacher that's coming out of her pocket for her own supplies, because, this teacher graduated college, I want to do well. I want my kids to do well. So I'm going to go in my pocket and put the supplies in. You got, 2 or 3 bad actors in the class, wearing the teacher out.
Throwing the pencils at her that she bought for them.
That she bought. He over there snapping them.
Snapping pencils. I'm not eating this weekend because I bought you that. Right. I can't get my hair did.
The notebooks they tearing pages out making paper airplanes.
I can't get my hair and my nails did because you over there doing this, that, and the third. Like, ladies and gentlemen, that's called a callback. It's called a callback.
But I feel like it lessens the burden, the mental burden on the instructor, on the teacher.
What do you mean?
The funds are there. The supplies are there. That teacher knows when they get to school for that school year, the supplies are there.
Already there.
Their mind isn't off on, now they can really focus on their lesson plan.
And
now they can really focus on, working with a student. I mean, if I'm worn out from worrying about all this other stuff, if your kid's a C average, I don't have the time to work with him to bring him up to a B. And all he needs is somebody to help him out.
And that takes the pressure off the child and the parents who are trying to get the supplies that the school is asking them to get each year, who may not necessarily have the income, the means to get those supplies,
right.
Or they may not have the time to go out to get those supplies. I've worked at Staples. I know what school. This is the worst. School, back to school at Staples, if you work at Staples, is worse than Christmas.
It's like the mall at Christmas.
It's worse. It's worse because it's angry parents in there who don't want to be in there, and kids that don't want to be there. And then when they're in there, they ask for this, that, and the third.
Picking up supplies that they have no idea what these are for. What do you need a protractor for?
Oh, man, there was this one.
calculator.
They had this one calculator, dog, that cost like $96, and that was a part of the supplies.
And that's the one you got to get.
Yeah.
We gonna be here working.
I'm like,
I mean, I understand on the side of, well, if you purchase it, you'll respect it more.
Right.
If you purchase it, you'll respect it more. But I mean, there's if you attend a place where the supplies and everything are already there, you're just in a different mindset.
Let me just say this, and then we'll
There
get
ain't
back
no
on topic.
stealing.
When that whole concept of if I purchase something, I'm gonna respect it more. I've purchased some things that I really didn't have respect for. I'm just leave that.
Well, your parents purchased something.
No, I purchased this.
Oh man,
I
this
purchased
is into your adult life now.
into my adult life. I purchased some things that I really should have had more respect for it than I did. But I like supporting black businesses. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is the problem. This is why we're going to get pulled off the platform. This is exactly why.
Speaking of which, this is a good time to close out. I got to get ready to go out here and teach my class.
Speaking of teaching class, did your kids bring their own supplies?
Yeah, they did.
They at Staples?
They're at Staples. I got to give it to the missus, man. She on point with that. She be Amazoning the hell out of things, though. Like, I think she has it down to a system where she just scans the supplies into Amazon and they automatically box dropped off the next day with everything.
Show up. Maybe that's a nice little side hustle. Like same way the dude brought up all the hand sanitizer.
Buy
Go
up
to
all the
Staples.
school supplies.
Go to Staples. Buy up all the scientific calculators, pens, and pencils. Like I got them here for you.
Picture pages. It's time to get your picture page. Time to
you
get
come
your
in front of
crayons
the
and
school
your
and be like, hey, if you didn't get your calculators, I know a dude. Could be a van here in 20 minutes. Who didn't get it?
All right, man. Where you at this weekend?
Brother, I will be. It is September 2nd. This is Labor Day weekend, bro.
Woohoo! Right.
Saturday
it's
night.
Time when women get pregnant.
The comedy. I'll be at the comedy scene Saturday night with Kenny Rogerson. Hoping to have a good time. Get yourself some tickets. Come on down. What you got? You back in Chicago?
No, I'm in DC with the family this weekend, vacation.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm taking some time off. But the following weekend, go ahead and lock it in, ladies and gentlemen. We're going down and going to be going down. I'm doing a comedy show in Franklin, Massachusetts at Box Seats Restaurant. Two shows, one at 7, one at 10 o'clock. Come through. We got a cavalcade of comics coming through.
Cavalcade comedy.
Cavalcade of comics.
Comedy,
so come on
cavalcade.
out.
So is that
one smile.
That's a standard structure where are you putting up host, feature, headliner, or it's more of a showcase type of situation?
More of a showcase.
And you don't have nobody closing it. It's just whoever's last.
Whoever's last.
You last.
I'm last. I am actually last.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm just picking my spot when I could drop in.
Whatever you always welcome, man. You right around the corner, come through.
I might need a door deal though.
Oh, I deal you a door. I know a door dealer.
I got them doors for you right around the corner. Dude gonna pull up in a van.
What you looking for? A storm? Wood?
You got any screens?
Looking for a screen?
Got them screen doors.
Got them screen doors, son. You know you're a booster when you open up your jacket and you got a screen door. Got them screen doors, son.
Dude had a screen door in his coat.
Roam me wrong.
Good, baby. What you need, a mailbox?
Hold on. Let me see what I got back here. You need a mailbox?
Why did you say you need a mailbox?
What kind you looking for? You looking for a brick? You want a brick mailbox? Custom.
You need a lock on it? You need a lock on it. I got punch codes, whatever you need, bro. Let's do it. All right, man. Give my best to your class. I'll be down to speak one of these nights.
All right, man. We'll do.
I'll drop in. All right, people. We out. That's the sound of the police.
All right, we on Facebook, and we start recording. Bam.
There it is.